Welcome back to Living Without an Expiration Date. This is a space for honest conversations about career disruption, identity, and what it means to keep becoming, especially in the later chapters of your working lives. Today's episode is about success, not the kind that shows up on business cards, org charts, or compensation statements, but the kind that shows up on how you live your days. If you've ever felt a quiet shift in what matters to you, this conversation is for you. For much of our careers, success is fairly easy to define. We move up, you earn more, you gain influence, you collect titles that signal progress. And for a long time, those markers may feel meaningful. They can represent effort, sacrifice, and growth. But somewhere along the way, many people notice a subtle change. The next promotion doesn't carry the same energy. The next milestone doesn't feel as satisfying as the last. And that can be confusing, especially if you spent years building your life around those goals. In the second half of a career, priorities often begin to shift. Time starts to feel different. Energy feels more valuable. And attention becomes something you want to spend carefully. You might find yourself asking new questions. Do I believe in what I'm building? Do I have space to live the rest of my life, not just my work life? Do I feel respected for who I am, not just what I produce? These aren't questions about ambition. They're questions about alignment. One of the hardest parts of redefining success is stepping out of comparisons. Because for years, comparisons can be and have been a measuring stick. Who's ahead? Who's behind? Who's still climbing? But in this chapter, comparisons often start to feel less helpful and even more distracting. Someone else's path doesn't account for your values. Their version of success doesn't include your family, your health, your interests, or your sense of purpose. Letting go of comparison doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start choosing. For many people, success begins to take on a quieter shape. It looks like meaning. The feeling that your work connects to something you care about. That it contributes, even in a small way, to people's lives, to a community, or to a cause you believe in. Meaning doesn't always come with recognition, though. Sometimes it comes with a sense of rightness, a feeling that at the end of the day, what you spend your energy on actually mattered to you and maybe mattered to others. Another value that often rises in this season is autonomy. The ability to make choices about how you spend your time, about where you place your attention. Remember, attention becomes a valuable commodity, and about how much of yourself you give to your work. Autonomy doesn't always mean working less. It means working with intention, choosing environments that respect your experience, choosing projects that engage you, not just impress others. Success in this sense becomes less about being needed and more about being aligned. Impact can also take on new meaning in this chapter. It might not be about scale anymore. It might be about depth. Mentoring someone who's just starting out, sharing hard-earned perspectives, being the steady presence in the room that's going through change. These forms of impact don't always show up in performance reviews, but they often show up in the lives of people who remember you. Redefining success is a personal act. It's not something you can copy from a book or borrow from someone else's story. It asks you to decide what you want your days to feel like, what you want your energy to go toward, what you want to carry forward, and what you're willing to leave behind. This definition doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. If you're in this season, here are a few gentle questions you might sit with. When do I feel most like myself in my work? When do I want more in my days? And what do I want less of? If I look back on this chapter a few years from now, what would I hope it stood for? These questions don't rush you toward a goal. They invite you toward a decision. Success doesn't expire, it evolves. And in the second half of your career, you get the opportunity to shape it with intention, honesty, and care. Thank you for spending time with me. New episodes of Living Without an Expiration Date are shared every Monday. Until next time, choose what matters to you, not just what looks good on paper. And if you found value in this podcast, please share it with with your friends or colleagues who may also be struggling with this stage of their life. Thank you.